Welcome to the shift. Some might even call it the great shaking. If you've got guests here, maybe you can unmute and just say hello to your guest. So anybody who's got a guest, feel free to, people can unmute, right? Hunter, they can unmute themselves. If they got a guest.
Yes, yes.
So if you've got a guest, go ahead and unmute and say hello to your guest. I know most of us are members already, maybe all of us. Any guests here? Did you get any preemptive from anybody, Hunter, that a guest coming?
No,
Okay.
nothing.
I could just be talking to people that are all in the community already. Well, that being said, go ahead and open up the chat and let people put their wallet addresses in for this is going to be a paid training of sorts. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, we can open
Chat's
that up.
open.
So if you're qualified for paid training, and how much is it really worth this training when you look at the long, like the 1 year outlook on it? How much is it really worth to be here today, getting paid? I'll just direct that to Hunter.
I know.
For this for this one training, it's $500.
$500 value, right? So based on
Yep.
where we project it to be a year from now, by the time it's probably more spendable at that moment. Okay. So yeah, feel free to put your wallet address in. Just put it in one time, and then we'll be sure to get you paid if you're qualified. Okay, so again, welcome to the shift. Welcome to the shaking. In fact, yesterday we had a shaking right here at the pool house for about 1.5 seconds. It was like we had an earthquake here, but it was very brief. It did get the pool rippling though for a little while, but yeah, we are in an interesting time. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today because I want to put the attention on something I think that's even more valuable than money, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And I would say community is more valuable than money, especially during the shift, the shaking that is upon us here. And I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive there and elaborate on what I'm referring to. What exactly am I talking about? Shift, shaking. What is that all about? Well, for me, it's already October 29th. And if any of you that, kind of like spend time online like I do and see stuff come up like on YouTube, whatever, there's lots of stuff talking about October 29th. Just realize this. There's definitely a relationship between our sun in the solar system and the earth in the solar system, especially right now. Um, the sun is it's doing what they're calling a solar maximum, and the Earth happens to be magnetically speaking at one of its weakest moments right now. Okay, so that's a recipe for some interesting things that could happen. Okay. I'm not a prophet, so I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is that people are talking about lots of interesting things going on, both in the heavens and in the earth, if you will. So don't be surprised if you see stuff that you've never seen before. That could happen. Okay. I'm sure if I took a survey right now with 132 of you here, I bet some of you have seen some stuff that you can't really explain, but you've seen some stuff either recently or whenever, but when you're talking about things that you might see in the sky, the combination between the solar maximum and the Earth's magnetic field being very weak right now, um, we might be able to see things that are there, but we don't get to see them normally. But because of that combination, we start seeing stuff. Okay. There's that. And then you just amplify that with all the fakery that you get on the internet, because people will take stuff that's just imaginary and use AI to create God knows what, there's all, I mean, I've seen it all. And so, yeah, there's, if you're viewing things through a screen, you have to question it quite a bit now, don't we? Right? I mean, it's getting that good. It's, you look at something and go, that looks so real, but it's actually the entire thing is just an AI production. In fact, that song we were just listening to, that wasn't a human singing, and that was an AI singing that whole song. So pretty good job there, you know. So we're in interesting times where we may be seeing stuff and we may be experiencing stuff that just never happened before. And some people kind of refer, people that have look forward into our time now and seeing this ahead of time, what's upon us. Some people have referred to this as a shift or a shaking, because everything is up for grabs right now. So this is an opportunity meeting. Why am I talking about these things? Well, I want you to realize that there are some things that are more valuable than money, and we have a great opportunity to make a lot of money. And I'm not going to spend as much time talking about that. I'll answer questions regarding that. But today I want you to realize that what we really have going on here is community. Okay. But we have a special kind of community. We have a community that has two guides. Okay. Guide number one, love. Guide number two, respect. Okay, those are the guides of this community. And if you're in alignment with the guides, then we treat each other with love and respect one another, right? How do you want to be treated? I know I want to be treated with love and respect. Do you guys want to be treated with love and respect? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
We also live in a time where isolation and loneliness and things like that are epidemic. These screens have become a divider where we don't have to necessarily engage humans anymore. We can engage their avatars, if you will. I see a squirrel here, for example, in our community. Speaking of avatars. And so, yeah, we can show up in a lot of different ways. But sometimes as we show up like that, we don't really fully connect, you know. So we spend a lot of time, on a keyboard, with a mouse, kind of connecting to other people through technology, and yet still not really be connecting to people. I want to encourage our community to get more connected, human to human. I want to encourage more of that to happen, but it has to be done in a way that we always remember what's guiding us, and that's love and respect. Okay. I mean, I know I don't know everything. Okay. And if anybody's honest, they're going to say the same thing. They're going to say they don't know everything either. Right. So nobody knows it all. Right. We all have like our ideas. We have our beliefs, we have our experiences and whatever. And sometimes those things can be used to divide us, and we can find ground to disagree, or ground to you know even debate, on things. But that's not actually as valuable as being part of a community that's like, it's okay that you and I might not agree on everything. It's okay. We can disagree agreeably. We've heard that before. That's what love's all about. When you have the capacity to disagree agreeably, that's a wonderful thing. Would you guys agree?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think during this shift, and I think during this great shaking, all of us are going to be experiencing things from our own point of view, based on our own set of experiences. And we're going to think we have a way of looking at something that's accurate, but really it's all pretty much an opinion at the end of the day. We all have to basically respect each other's opinions. Politically speaking, I know we got people on the left, we got people on the right, we got people all over the place, when it comes to our community. But see, it's not those things that matter, right? It's not the things that may divide us that matter. In fact, it's a wonderful thing that we're a group of people that we have our differences. But it's what makes it wonderful is that the guide here is love. Okay, love is our guide, and as the opportunities go, finding a place where you can feel loved is very valuable in the world today. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Notice I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about something better than money. And I hope you guys agree what I'm talking about is better than money. Would you guys agree that
Yes.
the subject I picked today to talk
Yes.
about is a worthy one?
Yes.
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 Okay. Because I don't know about you, but there's been moments in my life I've been lonely. You know, I know what it feels like to be lonely, to feel all alone. Okay. It's not fun. It's not, it's not something that you know, it's not a good, it's not really a feeling I'd like to have, feeling lonely, right? But what's great about our community is that none of us should ever feel lonely in this community. I mean, there are so many of you. I've been noticing, I've been watching you. There's so many of you so open to giving your time to other members of the community for whatever. And that is the cure to loneliness right there. Okay, how about that? We have the cure to loneliness here in our community. And all you got to do is step into it and embrace it and be a part of it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for those of you that have stepped up in that way. On the economic front, jobs are disappearing faster than new ideas can create them. Technology is taking over the job market. It's happening globally. That's a shaking on earth. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yeah.
Yes.
We're moving out of one age into a new age. Okay. We're going from the age of maybe you might call it the industrial age, where it's all about the job, right? I mean, before that was the agrarian age, which was all about the farmland, right? So we were stuck in that agrarian age for apparently a long time. But then technology and industrial, the industrial age came about, cars, planes, and trains, and everything that goes with that. And and then jobs, it all became kind of job focused. Everything was all about your job, your career, making a living, right? I'm here to tell you that humanity in the future won't be making a living. They will simply have enough to live, at least on the timeline that I'm projecting out there. Okay. On the timeline I'm projecting out there, it's okay that people don't work for money. It's okay that they go clickety click 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 in a couple of minutes every day, and then they got plenty of money. Because I mean, can you guys agree that if you go to go online and click 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 for a couple of minutes, we can't really call that work, right? I mean, it's not really work. If you're just on for a couple of minutes and click, 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 and then you got enough money, right? Right. That's not work. Okay. So, working for money and pool funding is leading in that area, that we're showing people an alternative to the idea of working for money. Instead, really, we're actually positioning people to have money working for people instead of people working for money. We flipped it on its head. And we're leveraging everything so that people can have an abundance. So financially, we got a good thing going on here in pool funding. We got a great vision. We got a great financial opportunity. It's got many, many aspects to it, you know, more than that could be contained in a single meeting. But again, today the subject's not about money. I just want you to know that we're on solid ground there. We have a strong vision. Things are working. The machinery that we built so far to make all this possible, you know, it's coming together quite nicely. And we're transitioning from our old coins to our new coins, and lots of exciting things going on as far in that regard. We got a lot of people that are excited about becoming whales in our community, and there's definitely a lot of competition going on there because those seats are limited on how many people can actually be a whale. But you know, there's all that happening right now within our community, but that to me is secondary to what really matters, and that is love. Being in a community that's full of love, okay? And I want everything that we do to kind of come from that angle, okay? Some communities are built on greed, okay? You know, business opportunity kind of communities are built on greed. We're not. Greed, if you look carefully at it, it's a derivative of fear, okay? So it's a shadow of fear. And you know, if you look at the difference between love and fear, they're the opposites, okay? And so the world's full of fear. And in this shift and in this shaking, there's some people that love to take advantage of fear and kind of corral people in a certain way that's not really good for the people, but might be good for a few people that kind of are in control, if you will, you know. So when you're inviting someone to join pool funding, I want you to start thinking community first. Think about the idea of community first, that this is a community first group of people, with our guides being love and respect. We're a community that gets along and we take care of one another. We listen to each other. We talk. We're human to human. Okay. Even our support team, our executive team, they'll jump on a Zoom call with you one-on-one as needed. Okay. In a technological world, you don't see that very often where you get the, you know, human to human over a Zoom call support from a company that's got some software, you know, that's being used or whatever technology that's been made. So there you go. So from the top down, from the bottom up, and every which way, we are, you know, we're about people, okay, community, and the guide being love. Let's talk about respect for a moment, okay. I think the best way to understand good respect behaving in a way that is desirable for the masses, is that I'm okay, you're okay. That's respect. Okay. There's not this, you know, hey, I'm better than you, you're less than me. That's not respect, right? Or there's the you know, hey, it's okay that we don't see eye to eye on this, that, or the other thing. That doesn't even matter. What matters is that we love one another first. It's the love before respect that drives us to know that it gets us past our disagreements that we might have. It's okay for us to disagree about stuff, especially stuff that might not even be pool funding related. It might be something you just saw in the sky, you know, or may see in the sky soon, you know, or might see walking down the street. Okay, something unusual, you know. There's going to be some stuff. I really believe that we're in a time where things that we normally are not going to experience, we're going to be experiencing here. We're experiencing a shift where the job market is going away. Pool funding is the solution for that. Okay, because you got to have money. We know that. Our civilization runs on the money thing. Okay. So we need the money. But the last thing we want to do is grab that money from the government. Do you know why? Why is it a bad idea to get our money from government? Why is that a bad idea?
Because they'll be in control.
Yeah. There's also something that I like to call corruption. Have you guys ever seen government corruption? Is that a new thing to anyone, or is that pretty much we know that's standard protocol, okay, for government? When things are done from a control basis, you know what I'm saying, it usually doesn't work out very well for the people. Am I right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, how would you like the government to tell you how much they're going to give you instead of having more than enough what you need? Right? If the government's going to give us the money because there's no jobs, then part of the shaking right here on Earth, okay, within the next 5 years, there's not going to be that many people in a job. Okay, you'll be surprised how fast this is going to happen because of the technology, the robots, the AI, all of that. And so there is going to be this huge need for something like pool funding because, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when basically you've been made obsolete? Maybe whatever you've been doing for money becomes obsolete, That's a shaking. Well, if you look at where the money is at, it's in the market. It's been there for eons. It's always been there. And so pool funding is market, we're attached to the market and what we do. And what we're really trying to do is pump money out of the market into the hands of individuals. That's really what we're here to do, but not by trading, because it's too easy to fail as a trader. Okay, by sitting there and trying to pick the highs and pick the lows and get in and get out at the right time. Tricky business, especially when you're competing against things that can process math and calculations at practically the speed of light, and you're trying to do it with your gray matter, making a decision what to do, get in, get out, but you're competing against something that can go with the speed of light compared to you with your gray matter, when to get in and get out. Yeah, I'm just, at one time I really believed in trading as a way to go. I've given up on that idea. Trading's not the way to go. But getting access to a pump that pumps money that you can spend into your pocket, and ultimately it's coming from the market, okay? That's what pool funding does, okay? In a nutshell. And you can go to the YouTube channel and get the nitty gritty on all that, because there's like hundreds of videos on there. We talk about that. But today, I want you to realize we're inviting people to be a part of community. A community that's based in love and respect. And that we have an opportunity to get better at those things, get better at engaging our fellow human being with love and respect. We're not just going to come out of the box all ready to go. A lot of us have rough edges. I know I got some rough edges, So in spite of that, we still can manage to get things done and work with each other and do some stuff and have some fun and actually maybe get some additional relationships going that maybe wouldn't have been there if you hadn't been a part of pool funding. There's a lot of people here that have more friends than they ever had in their entire life because they joined pool funding. Is that a true statement for anybody that's listening to me right now? Have you found you got
Yes,
more friends in your life right now than you've ever had in your entire life?
absolutely.
And it's because of pool funding?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Like, wow.
Uh,
You feel it? I mean, like, wow. That's a bold statement. I mean, that's right up there. Like, I'm a millionaire. You know, that's a big statement. Okay. When you join pool funding, you get it all. It's a full package, man. It's overflowing with abundance. True principles are really our foundation here. Humans first. But hey, in case anybody's listening that's not human, you're okay too. I mean, if you're here, and then whatever. I'm open to anything because I've seen some stuff on the internet that makes me wonder, what exactly is going on here. But I can feel stuff right now. I don't know if any of you are picking up on something, but I'm feeling it. There's something different right now. Like, call it energy, call it whatever, but maybe the sun, the earth, maybe other objects. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. All I know is I don't know almost everything I don't know, All I can tell you is that I can feel things that I can't really explain. Okay.
Hunter looks different right now.
Well, there you go. There's an example of what I'm talking about right there.
Beep, bleep, bloop.
So if you're feeling something right now and you want someone to talk to, you got a community here that you can come and talk. Okay. You got friends here. Talk to each other about what might be going on, And if you have differing opinions on maybe what's going on, allow for that. Make space for the differing opinions because that's called respect. Okay. In fact, love on its own doesn't work so well. It's really the combination, love and respect. That's the beautiful formula right there. Would you guys agree?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes, yes.
I could take it to the other direction. I could go love plus judgment. Okay. How's that going to work out? You know? So would you rather be judged or would you rather be respected? Okay. I think we'd rather be respected, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So make space for people having different ideas and different, points of view. That's where respect, shines, is in when we find we might have something different, we don't want to become that, like, high school clique, you got this group over here and that group over, I mean, there's going to be cliques everywhere, but even in pool funding, but that's not really the main thing. We should, just because we're part of pool funding, there should be that should be special. Oh, you're in pool funding, so love and respect all the way, right? Just that's the ground rules. They guide us. Uh, don't be surprised if we'll just call them authorities. Okay, you put the label government, whatever. They come in different forms, but the authorities are. It's getting crazy, right? I mean, just are you seeing what's going on with the so-called authorities? Back in the 60s, there was a slogan, question authority. I think we need to revive that. We need to question that, but in a good way. Question it in a way that's, because, because truth matters and love matters and those kind of things matter. And, And we may not look if certain things happen in government and if it shifts to a point where it's so much a certain way, then I'll be against it. Okay. I'm all about, peace and order and all that. But hey, if it gets to a point where it's, you know, you know, I don't know, it's hard to pick a label like Nazi comes up, If it gets to a point where things can get to the point it feels like it's being like Nazi, no. I'm not really saying that's I wouldn't go along with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but we're not against government. We're not trying to do anything anti anything. We're just paying attention. But I'm telling you, with the shaking, things could shake so much that we could see certain things start to, take form. And if they do, uh, compliance is not always the best answer. I think compliance generally is a good answer, but in certain situations, it's not, right? So there's lots of historical evidence of that being true. I look at Gandhi as a good example of, showing how there was a time that, civil disobedience. So there was nonviolent, and it was just like, uh, they didn't want this little country called Great Britain running that big country India anymore. And they're just like, enough is enough. And then that whole thing succeeded. India became independent, so but yeah, there could be talk of things like having only one government. How many of you would be for the idea of only one government for the whole earth? How many of you would be in favor of that? Anybody?
No.
Okay.
Not me.
I'm not in favor of that. I love the fact that there's a lot of different governments. Okay.
No way, yeah.
No.
And to me that just gives government something to do because they're busy dealing with the other governments, and their attention's there. That's where I like their attention to be. But yeah, I don't like the idea of just like this, only a one government for the whole world. But what if they start talking seriously about making that happen? Would you guys just comply and go along with it? Or would we like use our voice and say, that's not a good idea, guys? Right? Maybe we should just say, not a good idea. It's nothing violent by saying something's a bad idea. There's nothing wrong with, speaking out and say, that's a bad idea to have only one
Yep, use
government for
their
the whole
voice.
world. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could write a book on that one. I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. So the shaking that we're going through, the shift that's happening, anything could happen. I mean, it's unpredictable. Expect the unexpected at this point, because it's at that point where you're going to wake up one day and be surprised. You're going to see something you didn't expect to see. You're going to experience something you didn't expect to experience. You're going to be dumbfounded how something changed so fast from this to that. And what do we do about that? The world runs on fear. Okay. That's not good. It's not good. We need to be a light to the world and show them love is a better way. Okay. And say, hey, we got a community. It's full of love. We're making friends. We're having a good time. We're making money. We got hope for a great future. We got plans. We have a vision. We're part of something bigger than ourselves. And it's wonderful to be a part of Pool Funding because it's a wonderful opportunity. So yeah, get ready because I think things things could be moving quite a bit. We may see some interesting things very, very soon. Not a prophet. I'm just paying attention. See, that's the difference, right? You don't have to be a prophet. A lot of us don't pay attention, and that's why we're surprised by stuff, you know. So the more we pay attention, and the less surprised we are when something happens, you know. But I was surprised when they shut the whole world down back in 2020. How many of you were surprised that they shut the whole world down in 2020? Did that surprise all of you? It surprised me.
Unprecedented.
You know?
Yeah.
It was a
Yes.
moment.
I thought, oh no, this could get bad fast. Thank God it didn't, right? Thank God it didn't get as bad as it could have got. Could have gotten way, way worse than it did. It could have gone really bad. It could have gotten extremely bad, guys. Okay. It could have, but it didn't. And I want to thank all of you for any of you that were part of that resistance that resisted it from becoming any worse than it did, you know.
It's a wake-up call.
Yeah. But in some ways, what a blessing it was, right? What a blessing to shut down the whole world and get everybody to stop and just take a look around and, you know, which way is the wind blowing now? Okay. Because a lot of people had no idea what's going on. But after that, you know, everybody had time to, you know, it gave people time to stop and look and think and, you know, take it in and, you know, make some choices out of that. Okay. So a lot of good came out of that. It's not that I want to repeat. I'm not interested in a repeat of that, but I'm just saying that you can make good out of things that seemingly are bad. Okay. So just realize that all things can work for the greater benefit in the end. But at the end of the day, who I want to win is the people at the individual level. Okay. People have got to win at the individual level. Sovereignty is really the bullseye on the target there. At the individual level, we have a lot of work to do to make that come true. Okay. That's a big thing to accomplish. If we're talking about doing this in mass, you know, with the masses of Earth. But in our vision, in our plan with full funding, we want to be as gigantic as a social media company like Facebook. How many people use Facebook on the planet? Like billions of people, right? It's huge, right?
3 billion, 4 million.
It's huge. Imagine pool funding being that big and that our message is power to the people at the individual level. And whatever we can do to empower them, help the individual build up equity, you know, reduce debt, eliminate it if possible. Okay. And do it all under the guides of love and respect within community. That's our container, community. But not a community of control, a community that cares. Okay? Doesn't care sound better than control? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to be controlled. You don't want to be controlled. Yet so many of us are controlled one way or another because of this, that, and the other. Like da 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 da. We can go on and on with that. And I'm sick of it. Yeah. Sovereignty. That's the bullseye. Sovereignty is the ultimate of freedom. You know, if you got a quest for freedom, greater freedom, personal sovereignty, yeah, that's That's the big goal at the end of a long journey. Okay. So there you go. Why joint pool funding? Joint pool funding because it's a community guided by love and respect. That's why you should join pool funding.
Just by life.
And you probably make some money while you're here too. Okay. That sound good? How about that for an opportunity meeting?
Wonderful. Thanks, Ed.
Sounds pretty good.
Cool.
There you
Thanks.
go.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming to another one of our opportunity meetings. Does anybody want to say something, add to, or did I cover it pretty well? And just so she, call it a meeting.
Yeah, call it a meeting, love and respect.
All right. How about we just everybody unmute and say it then?
Safety.
Love and respect.
Love and respect.
Love and
Love
respect.
and respect.
Love and respect. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Love and respect.
Love and respect.